You thought Joo Jaekyung was bad? Oh, honey, let me introduce you to 10 tops who make him look like boyfriend material. Well, almost, kind of, slightly. JJK is a terrible person, yes. He treats Kim down like trash, yes. He has the emotional intelligence of a spoon, yes. But is he the worst top ever in blmanhwa history? Absolutely not. As your BL bestie, I made a list for you. You're welcome. Before we get started, let's set some ground rules. This list is based on toxicity, manipulation, emotional damage, and overall menaced behavior. If your favorite problematic top is on here, do not be mad. Just admit you have questionable taste, like the rest of us. Hey everyone, welcome to Ultimate Fujoshi. Here's a list of all the bad things JJK has done. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything I left out. 1. Beating up his fuck buddy while breaking up with him in the presence of an outsider, which turned out to be Kim Dan. 2. Not believing in foreplay. Like, what is that? 3. Not having basic human decency. 4. Pressuring Kim Dan into having a sexual relationship with him. 5. Sexual assault on multiple counts. 6. Having sex with Kim Dan immediately after rescuing him from getting raped. 7. Treating Kim Dan like an object. 8. Being an asshole in general. How could anyone be worse than this in a boys love manhwa? Well, let's find out. We're starting strong with Sang-woo from Killing Stalking. Now, I know someone's about to say, but he's not even a top. First of all, Killing Stalking is not a romance story. It's actually psychological horror. Although it involves sexual moments between two men, it's more of a Stockholm syndrome that focuses more on trauma, the crimes committed, and the manipulation taking place. It's not really a BL story, since love is not the main focus of the plot. Killing Stalking was the face of BL manhwas for a significant period, so I just had to include it in this list. I have actually never read this, but I know it's pretty intense. The bad things Sang-woo has done are serial murder, serial rape, kidnapping, abuse, including emotional, domestic, sexual, and physical abuse, sexual harassment, torture, mutilation, family side, and so much more. Joo Jaekyung is just an insignificant nobody when you're comparing him to someone like Sang-woo. Moving on to our next terrible top, Joo Jaekyung from Non-Zero Song. This manhwa is basically a competition to see which of the 3 leads can torture the MC the most. This manhwa actually does a good job of showing just how far someone can go when their love turns obsessive. Here are all the bad things that Joo Jaekyung did. First, he knew the MC was getting sexually assaulted and does absolutely nothing to stop it and even encourages it. He beat the MC up on multiple occasions and also assaults him repeatedly. He's also guilty of violence and manipulation towards the MC. He was deliberately making Haewon disabled so that Haewon would have no other choice but to rely on him forever. Haewon is the main character, in case you're confused. You can't compete where you can't compare. Joo Jaekyung is a mean person, but Joo Jaekyung is actually a psycho, so they're completely different people on completely different wavelengths. Next up, we have Seo Woo-jin from Playful. If you're a complete hoe for dark, psychological romance and yandere manipulative scenes, then you're going to love this manhwa. Trigger warning, this work contains rape, hypnosis, memory manipulation, and so much more. Seo Woo-jin has the ability to hypnotize people and erase their memories. With great power comes great responsibility. So our MC uses this power to repeatedly force his stepbrother, the MC, to have sex with him and wipes his memories afterwards. What? Messing with people's minds literally is so messed up. I recommend reading the story while dousing yourself with holy water, if this is what you're interested in. Next up, we have Tae-seung from Legs That Won't Walk. From the title alone, Legs That Won't Walk, you already know that this is going to be toxic as hell. Because why would your legs walk? What is stopping them from walking? This work contains rape, physical and mental abuse. The top is a total black flag. And he gets more and more abusive, manipulative, and psychotic as it goes on. Taeseong straight up kidnapped, abused, and sexually assaulted Soo-young, the main character, as well as dehumanized him and treated him like a dog, which was so disgusting to read. I never read this manhwa, but I can imagine that it would be so disgusting to read. Next up, we have Seo Il-moon from Blind Play. He had sex with the main character next to a corpse. I will not say anything else. Next up, we have the top from Red Mansion. He does some pretty terrible and unthinkable things to the main character, but it's kind of okay because the bottom likes it, so I guess there's no problem there whatsoever. This would be a great time to say that I have not read most of these manhwas. In fact, I have only read one of the manhwas on this list, and it's going to be the last manhwa I mention. I read an obsessive love story on Wattpad once, and the psychopath haunted my dreams for quite a while. That's not an experience I would like to repeat, so I steer clear of these stories completely. Okay? Moving on with Xenia from Codename Anastasia. I love that name so much. It sounds so lovely. The terrible things he has done include, but are not limited to, kidnapping the main character, holding him hostage, forcing a tattoo on him that is basically saying that he belongs to Xenia, repeated sexual assault, injecting him with drugs, attempting to strangle him to death, fracturing the main character's finger, obsessing over his partner in an uncouth way. Please let me know if there's anything I have missed out. Like I said, I have not read this manhwa, so the information I have might not be 100% complete. Another terrible top is Caesar from Roses and Champagne. For God's sake, Caesar shot Lee-won twice. Fine, I guess that is a mafia guy. But when he assaults him in that state, while he's bleeding and injured, and sustaining more injuries because he's being assaulted, that's going to be too far, honestly. The worst part is that this roughness does not just stop in the main story. So I have heard that it continues into the side stories. And I think we need to come together as fans and stop creators from doing this to us. Side stories are for fluff only. We do not need another story arc in the side stories. We need 5 to 10 chapters of fluff. Coming up in number 2, we have Cha Hwan from Be My Better. Here's everything that Hwan did. First, he manipulates the MC right from high school. Isolated the MC by bribing his friends to leave him alone and bully him. He killed the MC's parents. He fed the MC pills and showered him with pheromones to turn him into an omega, all against his will. He touched him while he was asleep repeatedly. He took advantage of the main character while he was not fully conscious and got him pregnant on purpose. He baby trapped him. Good Lord. You can't even... Why would anyone? We're finishing strong with Hee-won in Lima syndrome. The main character is a quote-unquote omega and has been harassed his entire life, and the only comfort he has is his high school best friend, the main lead. As it turns out, the main character was actually an alpha, and the main lead was just so obsessed with him that he forged the certificate to make the main character think he was an omega. The main lead then goes ahead and pays people in their high school to bully the main character. He paid some gangsters to attempt to rape the MC, but then he gallantly stoops in and rescues the main character from that tragedy, all just to have the main character rely on him completely. He also basically raped the main character every time the main character blacks out after drinking. In the end, he kidnaps the MC and puts him on a diet of constant monitoring, sex, and drugs to make sure the MC does not run away. And because he was so scared that the MC might actually run away, since he can't keep an eye on him the whole time, he broke the MC's legs. What was even going on in that story? My goodness. So guys, we've come to the end of our list. These are the 10 tops that I think are worse than Joo Jaekyung. Please let me know if you think there's anyone on this list that does not deserve to be there, or if there's someone else you would rather have included. Our honorable mentions are Finlay Ixtime from Call of the Night and that insane guy from No Reason. Now, who would you say is the worst top here? For me, I would say it's the Wako from Lima Syndrome for 3 reasons. For starters, it's the only one on this list that I have actually read. Also, he began torturing his love interest at an early age. I mean, he's been going at it for almost a decade. You just have to respect that dedication. And finally, the main character is actually aware of how terrible this guy is. In some of the stories I mentioned, the main character is incredibly unaware and ignorant, or has some kind of memory loss, so they don't know that they are in love with a psychopath. With these few points of mine, I hope I have been able to convince you and not confuse you that Joo Jaekyung is not that bad. These black flags we've mentioned make him seem like an angel. In fact, if anyone on this list ever met Joo Jaekyung, they'll probably make him their... Listen, I'm not saying Joo Jaekyung is good. And I'm definitely not validating all the pain and suffering that Kim Dan has seen in his hands. Compared to the horrors I just mentioned in this video, Jaekyung is just a misogynistic gym bro with an underdeveloped brain. That's it. Wow. I really need a person to after talking about all these crazy tops. And I have the perfect suggestion. A blmanhwa so sickeningly sweet and wholesome that you forget about all the chaos we just discussed. You can watch a review of it in this video right here. If you liked this video so far, hit the like button and subscribe because I plan on making more of these videos and I want you to be the first to watch it. If I missed anyone, please let me know in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye!